So let's go ahead and get started with the foundations first of all. When it comes to setting up the foundations, there's several things that we've added in this software to help you out. First off, let's talk about when it comes to multiple entities. Of course, you have a tab, but the first thing you're going to want to do is assign all of your different companies. And so to be able to do that, basically it's your org chart. Go there real quick and show you. So here's where you can see all your different businesses that you have in your Intuit Enterprise Suite. We do have a parent-child relationship, and as you can see here, each EIN or each entity has its own unique number. That way you can tie your own bank accounts to each business you have or entity you have, as well as you can tie all the different transactions. But it also allows us, as we'll show you in a little bit, to roll things up for that multi-company reporting and really doing it instantly versus a lot of the manual work you used to have to do before. So if we back up just a little bit, let's talk a little bit more about a few other foundations. One other foundation we'll want to set up is intercompany account mapping. And basically what this is, when you have multiple businesses, you can have, different ways you've described things on your chart of accounts. So the chart of accounts may not always map perfectly by letter or by account name. And so if there's any variances in the way you've set up operating income, expense accounts, etc., with this intercompany mapping, it lets you make sure that it knows across all the businesses, if there's those variances, how to account for them. Again, what does that set up the foundation to do? Well, as we'll talk about in just a little bit, the ability to do intercompany transactions, to do manual eliminations, which is really important when we get to the last piece we're going to talk about is the reporting. But one last thing on foundations before we move into the accounting piece of this. Lastly, getting all your users set up. This is part of setting up and really being able to maximize the effectiveness of your multi-company subscription. And so what we've done here is, if we go to roles real quick, you'll notice a number of different roles. When we go back to users, we'll add a user. Let's say just for today's purposes, that's going to be me. Of course, I'm already set up as a user in the account, so we won't save this. But again, for you, you would put in your employee's first name, last name, email address. And what's nice is when you have multiple businesses, instead of having to go into each business and add them, jumping through multiple files, you can actually go right here and select what businesses do they need to have access to. And when you click on add companies, you see how it added all of those companies. And then the other thing we notice with multi-company management is you can have different roles and responsibilities. Maybe in one business, you're a bookkeeper. Maybe in another one, you're the in-house accountant. Maybe in one other, you're the bill approver, and on down the road. So again, you can set up a user across multiple companies. If they have the same role, that's fine. You can add the same role across all companies, or you can even individualize what they'll be doing for each one of your separate companies. That way, when they log in, they only can do and see exactly what you want them to. So again, that'll really wrap up our foundations. Because I'm already a user, I'm not going to save myself. But let's go back to multi-entity and get into that next piece, which is really the account. Now that we've set up the foundation, now that we're ready, very exciting, and a big expense comes in. Let's say that you want to really leverage the purchasing power of your multiple businesses. And so you've bought several pieces of machinery. Well, now you want to split that in transactions. So here you see an intercompany journal entry. So we'll go ahead and click on add just so you can see how this works. And again, in this scenario, we'll say that our parent company made the purchase, but they want to share that expense with a few of the child companies. So again, you can very quickly select how you want to split this up. Then you can go to your different accounts on your chart of accounts. And again, you can start splitting up that debit or credit, whatever the case may be. The nice thing is once you click save, it does both of the entries for you the debits and the credits across all these businesses automatically, instantly. So no more forgetting, no more wondering if you got all the debits and credits right. If you shared the expense accurately, this will do all of that work for you. Also, one other key thing is whenever you do have intercompany journal entries, sometimes that can overstate revenue or expenses. And so we also have a very similar process where you can put in manual eliminations. So when you run your profit and loss, when you run your balance sheet, when you do different things, those numbers are accurate, and again, we've backed out or eliminated anything that would be duplicative. Okay. So let's step back over to multi-company one more time and go back to our overview here. And then we'll start getting into where, again, now that we've set up the foundation, now that we've accounted for different intercompany expenses, what's really the power of this? Well, you notice here's a dashboard, and unlike the main dashboard in IES, this is specific to your different companies. Okay. What's nice here is right now it's rolling up all your companies, but let's say for some reason you don't want to see all your companies, you just want to see your parent company. So we can step off, and in just a second or two, there you go. But let's say that, you know what, actually I just needed these two. So as you can see here, it's very, very simple. You can mix and match your different companies, see a quick financial snapshot, but we know sometimes you may need to dig a little deeper. And that's where this consolidated reporting comes in at. You can click on the profit and loss, and fairly similar to the dashboard we looked at, this will bring you into the actual report where you can see the individual transactions on your chart of accounts. But the same thing, it's going to default to all your companies. Selecting a subset, again, very simple. Same thing, just 1 or 2 seconds. And now you've just pulled together a customized multi-company report. And if you want to break this out even further, if you want to display or see which companies are showing up as their own individual headers, you can just go over to your display column, click companies. Now you can see the breakout, as well as we talked about earlier, those manual eliminations. So quite a bit of good things here. Really excited about, again, these are just some of the tools we've given you to help you out with multi-company management. There's much more to come and many more exciting things we can talk to you about with Intuit Enterprise Suite. One last thing I'll just call out is these insights on your reports. One of the other big things that's been mentioned from multi-company business owners is, hey, when I go to run my profit and loss, what's changed since the last time I run it? Instead of running 3 or 4 of those reports, or instead of trying to really figure out, what's the variances, why are things not quite the way I think they should be? Did I forget to bill a customer? Did I get double charged for my purchase orders, my materials I ordered? If there's any variances, these insights will actually, analyze your reports over time and let you know specifically, what's going on. And if you want to drill in, you can drill in. And in fact, you can go even all the way specifically to the transactions. So again, just really saving you a lot of time instead of digging through multiple companies, digging through multiple transactions. Now you can have some variance reporting, get right down to what's going on. Really excited about how this can help you, again, be more efficient when it comes to having multiple companies, getting the foundation set up, getting the accounting correct, and getting the reporting you need much quicker with the business insights you need right at your fingertips.